Nice little bobby little tune to get us into the day there. Welcome, I'm Debbie Fisher. If you've not joined us this morning, you'll notice a bit of a switch around. I'm going to be presenting for you today, and the lovely Craig is going to be presenting for us, so it's going to be an amazing day. We've had a lot of fun already this morning at CTV Towers. It's been a great day. You are absolutely loving the bargains. Remember, you can still go to the website and you will find our summer season sale, which is amazing. We're adding to that all the time, extra pieces, so keep taking a look there. What we've got today is the most amazing masterclass. I've seen some of the things that Craig's going to be doing. He gave us a little snippet on Wake Up Call this morning of what was coming up, but we're going to start off with just showing you what's in this amazing collection. Now, the collection's sort of reduced down a little bit, as you would expect to have like a really good discount on this, because we don't now have the paper pads in stock with it, or the cardstock, which is a shame. But actually, what I've really took from today, and Craig will agree with me, is that you don't have to have the paper pad that goes with the collection. It means that we just bring out all those other paper pads that we've got in our collection, and it will work with them. So let's have a look at the boards to start with. I love this little die. I know it's a really strange thing to say, because it is just that one word, small die. It's a beautiful font, but what it also is that word that can celebrate any occasion. So a really lovely font, one die cut, and it's a beautiful die. Then you've got that gorgeous chandelier, which is truly exquisite. The detail in this die is amazing. Cut that out of the luxury mirror card that we've got on the show because it really is just so beautiful. Gone the wrong way. We've got then our Masquerade mask, which obviously, what I like about this, it comes in two parts. You've got the outside cutting edge, so you can do your matte and layering, and then that inside intricate die. We've then got those feathers, which are going to go through so many different collections that we've got. Our Liam was saying earlier about Swan Lake. That would make a beautiful addition to the Swan Lake collection, as well as your peacock, and actually any other collection that's vibrant and bright out there, even with your sort of vintage butterflies, anything like that. This stamp set is so versatile. I loved Craig's use of it this morning in Wake Up Call. Lots of different ways that you can use it. In some of the samples, which I'm sure Craig will show you, these were cut out in different sort of ATC cards, which looked amazing. Then we've got obviously the Masquerade Ready for the Ball stamp set. This is a great one to use and really nice if you want to add your sentiments onto something. And then we're going to go to our next one, another one here where we've got that beautiful stamp set there with the man and the lady. Then we've got our gorgeous embossing folder, and it's just a 2D one, this one, but you can see how much detail is in that. And then our 3D embossing folder, which is absolutely incredible. Now, in all my excitement, I got straight onto the balls, and I didn't even welcome you to our guest, who just literally disappeared from my screen. He's my guest today, but it's really lovely because I'm joined today by the lovely Craig. Craig, you've got a massive show lined up for us.
Debbie, I will always be your guest.
Ah, be my guest.
Be your guest.
Be my guest. Put your service to the test.
Absolutely. Oh, what a fab masterclass. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I've got the Masquerade Ball masterclass, and we're on together today and tomorrow.
Yes.
So lucky. Bright, vibrant. We talked about a lot actually within Wake Up Call about this collection here. Initially with the paper pads and the cardstock, that's where you're getting that brightness from. That's what initially makes you think bright and vibrant. Whereas if you take away the paper pads and the cardstock, because it's not in this collection, however, don't worry, because the price that you're getting everything else at is ridiculous, you can then start to work your own colours in. Maybe you want to go brights, maybe you want to go more your monochromatics, your pastel tones, you can absolutely do this. Everything in here is a non-consumable item, which means you look after it, it's going to last you an absolute lifetime. So what Debbie was on about a moment ago about the backgrounds, this background paper, this was the demo that I done within Wake Up Call earlier on. So the background paper, this is actually from the Hummingbird collection. And then what I've done is I have used the stamp that comes from in the set here, and I used our Lemon Tonic Pigment ink pad and done clear embossing powder, and I randomly stamped that stamp over the back. So I've taken an initial pattern paper that would work with this collection, but what I've done is I've tied it in together using the stamps that come within it. So it's as if it's matching, as if it was intended. Going in with the yellow, that of course could be Centura Pearl, that could be your texture cardstocks that we do, anything along those lines. So please do not be put off with not having the paper pad. So we were saying as well earlier on, sometimes with the paper pad, you initially think of colour tones to run with, which is not a bad thing, but without it, it allows you, it gives you free scope as to choosing your colour. I think if you, for instance, this one originally had real brights with it, if you decided to go down the lines of deeper tones, sometimes you kind of get the feeling you're doing something wrong because the initial colour concept was brights. You're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong in crafting. You know, you make it completely your own. But by having the stamps and having the dies with the embossing folder, I was about to say powder, embossing folder, it gives you free reins to get creative in whichever way that you want. And I have to say as well, like Debbie, this one here, I thought was a 2D embossing folder. It's actually a 3D embossing folder. Oh. So you've got two 3D embossing folders, a 5x7 and a 4x6. That's actually why I ducked down behind the counter, because I wanted to double check, because I thought it was a 2D one as well.
Yeah, I did, so that's incredible.
Two 3D embossing folders you're getting within the set. Now, whether you're going to start to layer up your feathers with that masquerade mask, we were talking about earlier on how this one, I hesitate to use the word allows you to, but this gives you total free rein on using your gems and your pearls. Whether it's some of the gems and pearls you've got from your craft kits, maybe you've got some other ones from other companies out there, you've maybe got Hunky Dory's adorable scoreable range of pearls, you might have got Dawn Bibby's range, anything like that, start to use in conjunction. Tweezel card there that you can be starting to create with if you want to. Doesn't have to be straight cards, concept cards. Thinking about popping them into your frames, maybe going into your box frames. Maybe you're going to then start using them as to home decor. Anything like that, you can absolutely be creating. Shaker cards, going really, really simple. Going in brights if you want to as well. Or what about that one there? Going in, let's see, we can see how we have got our shaker. We can see there, we can see we've got our shaker into position here. Look at that, fab, absolutely fab. You can see there. There we go. So that's sort of the things that you can be making all the way around with these ones here. So that one is your Masquerade Ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing samples, and I know you do too, because it really shows you all the different things that you can do. But we are going to show you something that will go mix and match with that collection, which will be amazing. So the red, gold and green collection, you will get it packages like this, which is your greens. You are getting 10 sheets of each on this, which is amazing. So you're getting your glitter cardstock, your matte mirror and your shiny mirror. That's in the green. You're then getting that in the red as well. Again, 10 sheets of each of this stock. Then you're getting your gold mirror card. Again, 10 sheets of those. And I will just show you my fanned out version, which I absolutely love. It shows you all the colours that you are getting. Bear in mind, you are getting 10 sheets of each of these colours. That gives you 90 sheets of 300 GSM in luxury cardstock for £19.98. That works out to about 18 pence a sheet, which I can tell you is incredible value. So if you want that one is our warm tones. Now the next one that we have is our cool tones. The cool tones are my probably go-to. I use these a lot in everyday crafting. So you're getting that gorgeous ice blue, which is my absolute favourite. I think it's a gorgeous design, beautiful colours. Again, those 3 different sheets, 10 sheets of each. You're then getting those silvers as well, so all those silvers in the matte mirror, the shiny mirror and the glitter cardstock, and then this gorgeous pink. I mean, that is absolutely stunning. And when fanned out, showing them all, let's bring these ones into play. You've got the most amazing effects that you can make with your, and Craig was saying about those 3D embossing folders. These are going to look amazing all done. And also the glitter cardstock on here has a white core. So if you emboss that and then sand it back with some sandpaper, you reveal that white core and it looks amazing because you still get to keep that glitter on there, which is absolutely incredible. So each one of those holds 90 sheets you are getting in there for $19.98 or $31.90, which is absolutely incredible. So we have some amazing things for you, and we've definitely gone all out, picked out the best sellers that we could possibly find for you, and we're being naughty. We're going a bit rogue. Johnny's going rogue. We're going to show you some sneaky peeks of what you can find on our website. So look at this. This is amazing. So these are our Big Sing creator cards, and can I tell you, they are incredible to use. If you just want a really quick card, cut it into the front of your... No way, Johnny. 75% saving. That is amazing. If you are platinum, that's 90. I'm laughing because that's £19 if you are platinum. Can you imagine if you've got all crafty friends, you've got 6 Christmas presents there, and you would pay more than that for one die? Honestly, that's incredible value. £23.75 for these. I mean, These are big creator cards. Please don't think they're just small ones. These are going to take up your 5x7 sheet of cardstock, or your card blanks, which are absolutely incredible. So don't wait for those. You need to get on, buy those, because they are absolutely incredible. What? This next one, okay, these are some of my favourites. So I always think these ones were like a hybrid die. They're like a creator card and an edgeable die all in one. You don't need a lot more for these to put on your card. What I also love about these dies is not only are they die cuts, you can actually emboss them, and you can stencil through them. So these are like a threether. They are amazing. You are going to get so much use out of these. You are getting 3 of the designs with those beautiful words, the peace on earth, the winter wishes, and the silent night, for only £27. We really are giving you some treat ones which are incredible.
Debbie.
Right, you're right, Craig. Look at that.
What?
Wow. I haven't even got this.
Have you not?
I haven't got this. I might go and buy this because I don't have this one. No, I don't have this one. So this is the Ultimate Christmas Verse Compendium. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you there is over 230 elements in this for £62.99 from £249. If you are in the US, you're getting it for $129.50. For Platinum Price members, you have got a steal there at £50.39. That is absolutely incredible. You are getting so much for your money in there. You are getting a full set of verses in there, which is page by page of verses, which is incredible. And then you're getting that box which gives you cards, some ribbons, it's just, honestly, when you get it home, you would not be disappointed. No wonder we're doing that summer season sale, because it's amazing. So that's just a sneaky peek, and literally a handful of some of the goodies that we've got on our website. So go over to our website, have a look and see what you can find. And let us know if you've grabbed yourself a little bargain. Let us know what you've been buying. Right, we'll have a quick hello to people because I've seen all these comments coming through. And then we will get over to Craig to start on our masterclass journey. So hello to everybody that's saying hello. We've got a comment here. So Debbie, Craig and CCTV crew sending hugs your way from Melbourne, Australia. Apologies in advance if I doze off. We're not going to let you doze off. No, Sarah Brown, you need to stay with us. Too much fun going on. So if you're not commenting, we are on in the background, and you love listening to us, which is really lovely. Thank you. Gloria has said hello to Debbie and Craig. I'm so happy that you're doing the Masquerade collection because I've never used it yet. Do you know what, Craig? It's one of the things that we do masterclasses for. Exactly. Because there's so many people that buy a full collection and they just then don't use it. They forget about it. It gets put away. So I'm really pleased that you're going to love that, Gloria. And then Karen saying hello, Arena's saying hello. We've got just lots of hellos. So from all over, we have, I just read one somewhere else. I think I've worked out where it is. It's a weird, here it is. So Sheila Leary is saying hello for Chattanooga, which I think is in Tennessee.
Is that?
It says TN, so correct me if I'm right. Is that the right word? If I said that right, Chattanooga. Chattanooga, yes, and I think it's Tennessee, so we will see. But for now, we're going to head over to Craig, and he's going to show us exactly how this collection works and what he's going to do with it.
We are indeed. What we're going to do within this masterclass, we're going to start very simplistic, and then we're going to work our way up. It's actually could be forgiven for thinking that everyone, as Debbie just said, that everyone brings them straight out the packaging straight away. Usually you find machines, the foil press, many people will say, oh, it's still in the box. That goes the same for collections. Many of you have still got the collections at the side and you've never actually used it. So now's the time to get out the Masquerade Ball Collection that you've got. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of ink in here. I am going to use water reactive. You could use a Pigment ink pads. We will use these Pigment ink pads throughout the show as well. But I'm going to go in with the Masquerade Mask Embossing folder. So this is the one that's 4x6 and it is a 3D embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is I've got my multi-purpose cardstock and I've cut that just shy of 4x6 and I'm going to run this one through my Junior. So with it being a 3D one, my base plate, and I'm going to put in my magnetic and my plastic shim. So this is going to go all the way through. If you're new to our folders or 3D folders, what you'll find is an embossing folder. It's raised detail. It's one level of raised detail. Within a 3D embossing folders, what you can get is multiple layers, multiple depth. So one area could be raised slightly, another area could be higher up. So for instance, the mask here, you can see even on the white cards, a lot more stand out than your background here. This is because it's higher than it is on the background, but not quite as high on the feathers. So you've got multiple levels when it comes to the 3D embossed layer. It could be 2 layers, it could be 3, it could be 4. Some have got around about 5 or 6 layers, depending on the design of the folder. But that one there, gone into our white multi-purpose cardstock, absolutely beautiful. But what we are going to do is let's go in with our Midnight. We're going to go in with our crushed velvet, and we're also going to go in with lemon tonic. It is, as I say, our water reactive, but if you do want to do it with your pigment, by all means you absolutely can do. And then all that I'm going to do is just on selective areas, using my square blending tool, although you might want to use your circle one, or you could use your finger daubers if you want. But what I'm going to do is in little areas, I'm going to lay my colour on. I'm going to start off with the lemon tonic, and then I'm going to go into the crushed velvet. And just selective areas, going to go in, and we're adding some of that colour down. What that's also going to do is that's going to pick up the different raised areas. So where you're starting to get some of this real depth, where it's a lot deeper in colour there, that's because that is the highest point of the 3D emboss. So therefore, my blending tool, not only is that raised detail hitting against my blending tool, because I'm pushing down to hit that back layer, that top layer is really going high up into my blending foam, which means it's getting that real hit of colour. So I'm going to go into selective bits here. I'm just dabbing off a little bit of the excess to start with, but going in, and as always, as well we say, if you just add a little and then keep adding until you're happy with the result. You can always add, but you can't take off. And then I'm going to go in now, the remaining little bits of white that I've got, if we can go in, we're just going to add that blue in into these little bits. And once again, what's happening is selective areas, the higher up raised areas, for instance, this part here at the bottom of the mask, that's getting a hit of colour stronger than some of the subtle layers in the background. But going in, and now what you can do is go in and you can kind of skim over the top. I'm not overly concerned about getting a lot of deep colour on the 3D layers, because what we will do in a moment is use some of our gilding wax, but what I'm at least wanting to do is get that colour on, blend it in, and now what I'm going to do, I'm actually happy with that tone of shades that I've got there, but I'm going to go back into my lemon tonic, because that was my lighter colour. So I'm going to go back in, I'm just kind of going to blend them in together, or buff them together, just so we get a little bit more of a seamless blend. And then where the yellows hit the blue, you're getting a bit more of a green colour. When it comes to the purple against the blue, you're getting different shades. The purple and the yellow as well. When you're in this bit, you're getting more of an orange colour. So they start to cross together, and you get different shades as well, which work really, really well.
Do you have a favourite ink pad? Do you have like favourites like I do, Craig?
Favourite?
Ink pads, like what your favourite ones to use?
Colour or actual set?
The actual, like Pigment.
Water reactive.
Water reactive,
for me,
right.
because I know you're Pigment.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm water reactive. I love having a play with them, and you know, and I know we talk about done masterclass on inks last week and that. You know, there's so many different things you can do with each of them. But yeah, for me, I just love the water reactives.
Yep.
Love playing with them. So that is my my layer done with my colour. That's all that I've gone and done in. So that was lemon tonic, crushed velvet, and then I've gone in with Midnight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going in now with our Empire Gold, and I'm just dabbing a little bit. Now this really is where you can add, but you can't take off. And then what I'm going to do is I've got my finger flush, so my my finger, and my tip of my finger is just gliding over the top. And what that's going to do is then that is going to enhance the 3D raised areas. It's going to really, really pick it up, and there's going to be a subtler gold on some of the back layers. But the mask itself is quite high in detail, so I'm going to really enhance the mask. So going to go in.
It really elevates it, doesn't it?
That was the word I was trying to think of. Thank you. Elevate.
Yeah, it's just, it takes it to a whole new level.
It
I
really
love
does.
gilding wax.
It can be little, but the difference is huge. It really, really is huge. But all that I'm doing is working my way around. And I am still going into these back layers, because I do want a little bit of gold on top. But what I'm really focusing on is the 3D area, the high area, to enhance them. So let's go into here. Let's go into this bit here. And then work your way. Do little and often. So work our way in. Kind of like a snakeskin effect in the background.
It looks amazing.
And it looks, to me anyway, it looked good with the colour alone. But as you said, the gold or whatever gilding wax colour you use, it really does elevate it.
So we've had a question from Karen. She says, will the water reactive ink colours fade over time? So I sort of know this one as well. So shall I answer, Craig?
You answer that one for me,
Only
Debbie.
because I'm a massive fan of the pigment ink pads.
That's it,
for that
'cause
reason,
they don't fade.
They don't fade. So the reason being, pigment ink pads are naturally sourced, natural pigment. Colour will last for a long, long time because it's a natural source. The water reactive ink pads, they are not naturally sourced. So the nature of them, eventually they will fade. That doesn't mean though, by the time you send someone a card with them on, I mean, they're going to last you years.
Yes.
It just means over a long period of time, the colour might fade, but actually only if they're put into natural daylight or anything like that. So, yes, so to answer your question, Karen, they will fade over time, but honestly, please don't worry about that in the time being. And also, the other thing to think of that, they are water reactive, so they get diluted with water, where pigment ink pads don't dilute. You will get that vibrancy still for those colours because of their natural source. So yes, there you go. Oh, and we've got someone else in today, which is their 75th birthday. It's like a competition of birthdays
it is,
today.
isn't it?
We had a 70th birthday earlier, and Kathy is 75 today. And wow, how time flies, she says. It seems like only a few years ago that she was 21. I love
happy
that.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Kathy. We hope you have just the most amazing day. I think 75 is definitely an amazing birthday to get to.
Isn't it
And
just?
don't we all wish we were 21 again, hey?
Of course.
So, mine's 20, actually. I loved being 20 for some reason. I had a really
you?
lovely 20th and, yeah, really liked being in my 20s, which was nice.
You
Do you
still
have a
look it.
favourite age?
You still look it.
Oh, thank you, Craig. Thank you.
Did I have a favourite age? I'd probably say my early 20s, I would say as well. Yeah.
So it's not a year that sort of more poignant to you than any other year. I have a worst age as well, my 9th birthday, which is very one to the other. Yes, I was really naughty on my 9th birthday, and my mum said I could never have a party again, and I never did till I was older, because I threw a real strop, stormed up the stairs, missed my whole birthday party because I didn't win a prize at my own birthday party. So I was a stroppy little mare, as they would say.
Wow. Or as my gran would have called me, a toe rag.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go then. Well, you've made up with it for parties that you've had since.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've had a lot of parties.
You have, haven't you? We were talking about it in Wake Up Call.
Yes, because Leon had the idea of having these as a New Year's Eve party, especially for invites and things like that would be amazing. Yeah, and one year we had a really amazing New Year's Eve party and we made it into a Hollywood theme party, which was lovely. So this would have been amazing to send out for invites, that's for sure.
That's it, yeah, because I think, and I'm the same, when you get collections, whether it's Nature Garden side or Signature, I always automatically will go to card making. And, you know, either card making or scrapbooking is great, but then look to see how else you can use them, whether it is invites. You know, these are great for party invites, even if it's not necessarily a Masquerade Ball-esque themed sort of party, still it's got a party vibe to it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, start to use them for your masquerade, for your parties, or even start to use them for decorating your boxes, whether you've got any of our favourite boxes or anything like that. Start to use them to decorate them.
Do you know what, this would even be nice for a wedding. Like you say, it doesn't have to be a masquerade ball, but actually your wedding stationery, it would be amazing for wedding cards, just beautiful.
Oh yeah, wouldn't it just? Yeah, it
yeah,
really would.
Really lovely. And you could put it into any colour that you want to represent that wedding.
That's the thing. That's the thing you could do. Gosh, well now you've got me thinking of other ideas as well.
Oh, are you thinking about weddings, Craig?
Yeah, maybe. Just sort of things that you could be doing, invites.
I've thrown Craig there, I do apologise.
Oh, but no. Simple mats and layers. See how black works really, really well with this collection.
It does work really well with that,
It works so well.
It's one of my favourite things to do is to add black layers to bright things.
Yeah.
I think it looks amazing. It grounds it, draws the eye in.
I think there's so many elements here on Crafters TV, all of us that get to be lucky and stand here. I think out of all of us, I think me and you have got a lot of the same sort of like styles or concepts.
Absolutely,
or we think alike. Now, I don't know whether it's just the way we are in our personality, or of course if we've worked together when...
And we are very similar.
We are, well, we really
and we
are.
share birthdays. We're birthday twinnies, aren't we,
Exactly.
Craig? Absolutely. Yeah,
I
no,
know.
you're spot on. Look how amazing that looks in the same colours, but then just shadowed with that black. I love that.
Yeah, die cutting it out into, once again, white multi-purpose, and I used the crushed velvet, and I just dabbed the blending pad against the top, same with the lemon tonic across the bottom, and then added that drop shadow. But this time what I've done, instead of doing my typical drop shadow to the bottom right hand corner, what I've done is I've just moved the sentiment to the right hand side slightly, so you've got that drop shadow all the way along. And finishing off, I've got a couple of big black pearls. I'm going to add two of them here, one there and one there, and that's all that I'm doing with that one.
Wow, I mean that is like an embossing masterclass in one. Absolutely stunning. I love that. And it does show that the simplicity of an embossing folder is just the whole card.
Exactly.
One sentiment, few gems. Looks amazing. I love that, Craig. Absolutely love it. So Craig was using the water reactive ones, but we do have the pigment ones on the show. There are opaque pigment ink pads. They are incredibly juicy, amazing ink pads. And we've got them in a variety of colours. So the first one we're going to be looking at is the fuchsia. Absolutely gorgeous colour and works really well with whatever you're doing. We've then got the darker colours of the fuchsia. So these colours are going to mix really well together. And this is our plum jam. We've then got our lemon tonic, one of our good old favourites with these. And what you will notice about our colours, no matter what ink pads you go for, whether it's the quick drying, the pigments or the water reactive, they all come in those same colour families. You've got the orange there as well. Then you've got the beautiful damson wine, which is that really gorgeous deep purple colour. And then one of my absolute absolute favourites, which is the Parakeet, which I use so many times. And this gives you a really good, colourful range of our pigment ink pads to use time and time again. But if you haven't tried them, this is a great starter kit. So it's £27.99. You are saving 20% today, and they are amazing. So try these. I guarantee you'll come back for more colours because they're incredible. Right, so the next thing we want to look at is some more extra things that we've got on the show. And actually, I'm just going to grab them because we did show them in Wake Up Call, and they've just gone silly. You love them. Beautiful colours on here. If anyone's not seen our glitter markers, just type in on Facebook on Crafters TV page in the search button or on YouTube, just search in glitter markers. You'll see lots of tutorials on this and you will fall in love with them because there's so many things that you can do with them. The first one we've got is our cool elements, and if I just look at that, the glitter in these are amazing. What you can do with these is incredible. They colour in, so if you want to colour in a whole image, you can do that with these markers. If you just want to highlight certain pieces, you can do that as well. You've then got that in the beautiful neon lights, so gorgeous, beautiful summer colours there, which are just going to go through all your sort of crafting needs. Absolutely stunning. You're getting them in their 6-pack boxes like this, so they will come to you. Lovely packaging and beautiful colours in there, all for £18.99 today. There is 20% off of these, so it's always great to have that amazing deal when you're going for, or you want to try something. These are like those sort of try buys, which you can see what you really like. Beautiful nib to use, amazing colours and immense glitter throughout all of those. So that's our glitter marker, which is our 12-piece pack. So let's have a look and see who's joining us today. So let's bring over our comments and have a look. So I think Craig changed the subject really quick from the weddings. He did, yeah, he really did, yeah. When using pigment ink, do you have to set it or does it set over time, i.e. with the silhouette stamps? So Craig, do you want to answer that one?
Did you ask me a question? Sorry, I'm just playing with my parents.
I know, I looked up and I was like, he's completely ignored me.
No, sorry.
His mind was on weddings, I think. A question for you, Craig, sorry, I should have warned you first. Who mentioned weddings, Craig? You did. Was you cleaning something?
No, I was just playing with my parents. They were the wrong way around, so I was just turning them around.
So the question from Panda Crafts is, when you're using pigment inks, do you have to set them or do they set over time, i.e. the silhouette stamps?
Yeah, so they can take a while to dry, can't do you know?
Yeah.
In actual fact, you know what? I'm going to throw it back to you, Debbie, because
you know it's my favourite. I love
your
them.
favourite.
I love them so much.
And I'm not throwing them back for any other reason other than on your side, I want to know the best answer as well, because I sometimes have trouble with them as well.
Yeah,
so,
which is brilliant. Isn't it good? Because it's what we get used to, what we use all the time.
Yeah.
Pigments are my absolute go-to, and I pretty much know everything about them. But what pigments do is they do definitely dry. They just take a little bit longer. I would say if you're not heat embossing them, which is what we class as setting them, leave them to dry. But you'd need to leave them probably for maybe half hour to an hour before they're touch dry and they don't smudge. So they do dry, they just take that bit longer. And also it depends on the amount of use you do with them. If you are covering a whole background and using all those inks to cover it, that's going to stay wetter for a lot longer.
Yeah.
If you are stamping an image down, that's only going to take maybe 5 minutes to dry because you've not got such a big lay down of ink. So I like to always heat set them with embossing powder. We use clear embossing powder with the different colours, and it's brilliant because you don't then have to buy loads of different embossing powder colours. You literally just buy one tub and you can get a big tub quite cheaply of just clear embossing powder, and then you can set them all. So yeah, the answer to your question, Panda Crafts, is that yes, they do set on their own, but if you want a quicker set for them or quicker dry, heat emboss them. So we've got a beautiful card, Craig, lovely card, Craig. So everyone is commenting on your gorgeous card, which is amazing. And yeah, so now we're going to have a look at our nesting dies. They're the new frames. I launched them and they're incredible. Have you got hold of these yet, Craig?
So I actually launched them here in the UK on Hobby Maker last week.
Right,
Yeah.
of course, yes, of course. And I should know that, Craig, because I didn't know that at the time, and then I went back and re-watched your shows. So, because it's always good to get someone else's take on something that we're selling. So I then launched them on here. But these are incredible. And what always shocks me is that we give such a good low price, even though they're new. So you can get these today for $71.95 or $83.75. There are 18 dies in this collection, which is enormous. Now, these are very different to other nesting dies that we've done before. These are framed nesting dies, and if you're clever and cut every single one together, you will create other frames within those frames. So they're really, really clever dies. So go back and watch the launch party, and you'll be able to see exactly what those dies do. But they're going to work in everything, can't they?
Absolutely.
Every crafting element you go, if you're going for the Masquerade Ball, you're going to find that they work in that as well. So anything you want in your crafty stash, and you love your nesting dies like me and Craig absolutely do, you're going to love this alternative to nesting dies, which have a slight difference in them, where they're creating a frame, not just that one nest mat and layer. So yeah. But anyway, we're going to get back to our Masquerade Ball and another demo for us, Craig, I believe.
We are indeed. So we're going to now look at the other embossing folder. This time we're going to do letterpress technique, and we're actually not so much answering the question, but we'll show you the question we just had a moment ago, because I'm going to use our Pigment ink pads and clear embossing. So what we can do is white multi-purpose cardstock. I've already cut this one to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and now I'm going to go in with the distressed chandelier. So I'm going to go in with the fuchsia and the parakeet. These ones both being the Pigment ink pads. So these are the ones that I'm using. So what I'm going to do is down the centre, I'm going to go and dab the colour on. So I'm going down this angle of the centre with the parakeet, and now what I'm going to do is I'm then going to cross over with the fuchsia. So if I then pop fuchsia into this side here, so dabbing that one on, and I'm doing it onto what I would class as the flat surface. So all that detail, the chandelier, that's debossed on the side of the folder I'm tapping on. So I'm going to go in and I'm adding on my fuchsia at this side as well. Don't worry if you get a little bit of parakeet onto the fuchsia. All it do, and a little bit of cardstock, could be scrap card, just dab the excess ink off until the parakeet colour comes off. But going in there, dabbing this one on. So what this is going to do is, originally I was going to be doing this with water reactives, and then I seen that we had the pigments on the show. So I thought, let's do it with this one, because you can either do, as Debbie says, leave it to dry, or you can then come along and do what I'm going to do and go over with clear embossing powder to heat set it. That's what we're going to do within this one here. So what I like, this is just the way I like to do it. I like to put my cardstock on sort of like the clean side. So it just means that I've got it right in the centre of the folder that I need it to be. So when I close my folder over, the cardstock, it's not moving, it's not budging out the way, it's staying completely in place. And now I'm going to put it on my base plate. And now, because it's 3D, I'm going to put my plastic and my magnetic shim in. We're going to press this one. And I never, ever, ever, Debbie, get fed up of seeing the reveal of the folder coming away with a cardstock. Liam's never seen this technique.
Well, now that really shocks me.
That shocks
because
me.
It is Sarah's favourite embossing technique, Liam. So how have you not seen this on HSN? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll show you the back to start with. So this is...
You're cheeky.
Me? Cheeky? This is the deboss. So this is the back side of it.
And isn't that nice as well?
Really, really nice. Really nice. You can see here. And now, if I then... Let's go over...
Oh,
Look
I
at
know.
that.
It's so amazing, isn't it? It is
So
a wow
amazing.
factor every single time.
Every time. every single
Yeah,
time.
I love that. So it's called the letterpress technique, and it really is incredible. Sorry, I turned into demonstration mode there.
No, you carry on.
It's called the letterpress technique.
You go for it, Debbie.
And then, so you're doing my two favourite things, Craig, because I just adore. I mean, heat embossing is just one of those things that's so magical. It's definitely one of the things that got me into crafting,
Me
because
too.
I couldn't believe how amazing it was that you could create such a shine onto something.
Exactly.
I'm a massive fan now of triple embossing. I just think that
looks exquisite. Triple
yeah,
embossing.
absolutely. And actually this would look, I know time-wise we're not probably be able to do that, but triple embossing just takes it to that whole, it looks like a real enamelled tile.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like, so if you get the time to do that, it's
Yes.
so worthwhile doing that.
Absolutely.
But all that I've done here is I've only sprinkled on half at the moment. So really, if we look at the parakeet, you can see the difference. So this has gone a lot more cloudy because this has got our clear embossing powder over the top. Going back to what Debbie said earlier with that last question, you could leave this completely on its own and let it dry. It will take a bit longer to dry, as Debbie says. Or what you can do is heat set it like I'm doing now with our clear embossing powders. So let's just go over the top and sprinkle the excess, take it off. I'm just going to put this straight back in, and I've got my hot gun all good to go. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to bring it in. So get your heat tool to temperature. So it's just going to take a second or two. And then always start at one specific area, and as it melts, move that along. Just sweep back and forwards. You'll see what I mean as it starts to melt. So we're going to go up into this top corner here. I can see it starting to melt. So all that I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way along. You end up getting this beautiful, clear, textured clear glaze. So if we look just into here, we can see that starting to melt there. Work your way. You really will start to see it on the parakeet more than the fuchsia. But if we then work our way in, so carrying on. Now you can be doing this with your water reactives if you want to, but what I really wanted to do was show you how fab it looks using the pigment, but also using your embossing powders. So let's go over, work our way. Now I love how the actual embossed detail is the detail that stays white. It looks fab. But what we can then do is go over all the way, work your way down. I'm just going to swap hands so I don't burn myself. You can't just leave it flat. I'm just tipping it so that you can kind of see it melting, especially on the parakeet. So work your way along as we get to the bottom. But what I'm also going to do, to finish it off, let's just get to that bottom there. Work your way along. And then there we go.
Stunning.
So then, look at that. Really is a fab technique to do.
That looks amazing. It is
Isn't it
beautiful.
You wouldn't think that's come from an embossing folder.
I know. And that's one piece of white card.
Exactly,
That's why we get into crafting, isn't it?
Absolutely, it really, really is. But then all that I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with my King Gold, and it's only the tiniest of bits. What I'm doing is I'm going to go down into the bottom here. It's kind of as if we are distressing it slightly, but just with a little bit of gold, nothing over the top, just enough into each corner here. Distressing it, we can go into a couple of these little diamonds, another bit into there. That's all that I'm going to do. Don't need a sentiment for this one because we've got Masquerade already there in the bottom. Let's just take that excess off. Add my trusty black card once again. We're going to mat and layer that onto a 5x7 card. So another technique using the 3D embossing folder, although you could do this technique with that last one I showed you, or vice versa, popping that one on. So this one, if we go onto our card blank, We'll work our way round, popping it on. And now what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of bright fuchsia petals that I was playing with earlier on while listening to Debbie asking me questions. So
I love this. It's so beautiful. And I love that you just put a really tiny touch of the gilding wax on, because actually that's the thing that interests people, because in one light you just catch that glimmer of gold, and it looks so beautiful.
It's just enough, isn't it? It's enough. You don't have to go over the top with it. If you wanted to, you could do, but that would work well with the Renaissance gold or even the silver. Look at that one. So reluctant to say just a 3D embossing folder, but getting that effect there by doing your letterpress technique, your pigment ink pads, a little bit of that gold gilding waxes, a gem in a bow, and that's it.
That's incredibly stunning, absolutely. And it goes to show, if you were to use your water reactive ink pads, you could just put them on, do what Craig done, make a really quick card, but actually by being a bit more creative, by doing that embossing, adding a little bit of golden gilding wax, you can really elevate that card to a whole another level, which is why we always say, whether you're a beginner crafter or you're an advanced crafter, you will find you will do you. You'll be able to create in the ways we do, but bringing it onto how you want to create with yourself. Now, I just want to bring back a little something we showed you earlier, and just apologies for the gremlins in our system. Unfortunately, it was showing at the platinum price, but it is now, we've corrected the system, and you will see it is still an amazing deal, which is incredible. So apologies for anyone that jumped on to try and get the price we were doing. It is those little gremlins in the system. We really do only have a handful of those left, so you've got to be quick for those ones. Over 230 elements in that collection, which is absolutely amazing. Just have a look at a few little comments. Just everybody is jumping in and saying what a lovely card. Kathy is saying that she now needs to get some more ink pads because she doesn't have that many. Now's your opportunity to get them, Kathy, because we have some amazing ones of the pigments in stock. Beautiful card, Craig. This is gorgeous, Craig. Craig, your cards are amazing from Donna.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're so kind out there, and Craig is amazing at what he does. But now, if you want to know a little bit more about Club Inspire, here's our Sarah to tell you all about it.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Put away your tape measure and fabric scissors. The Threader's Fabric Cutter offers accuracy and precision with every cut. This handy tool slices through fabric in a guillotine style. Its ergonomic design features a comfortable and protective handle, so it's safe and easy to use whether you're right or left-handed. Its 45mm rotary blade will cut up to 6 layers of fabric at a time, so your sewing, quilting, and upholstery project times are cut down to size. It's equipped with a measuring guide in metric and imperial for a perfectly accurate cut every time. The built-in grid ruler has 30-degree, 45-degree, and 60-degree angle lines, so you can cut fabric on any angle, including the bias. Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash.
You can get beautiful colorways out of this. Now you can use it for your embossing, your die cutting, your mats and layers. It's 300 GSM with a 10 GSM coating on it. So all those three colors. So if you want to go for the warm colors, that's our Christmas collection pack, and it's beautiful. So the next one we've got is our what I call our contemporary colours, and this one is our cool colours. So if you're using it for Christmas, these are what we would call our contemporary sort of tones. Again, 90 sheets, so you're getting 10 sheets of each of these different card mediums. Bless you, Craig. We are getting them in the sort of purpley pink colour there, or the fuchsia. You're getting that in that gorgeous silver, and then my favourite one, which lots of people I am just going to let Craig do some talking for me, because
you've been talking that much. Your mic's gone.
My mic's gone. Yes.
Your mic's gone.
So
let's talk. Yes, beautiful cardstocks and Cheer Repel Modern. 3 luxury cardstock. Beautiful selection that you've got there, whether you're going for each one that Debbie's got, A4 in size. Remember, you can be embossing with it as well if you want to. You can just use it for your mats and layers if you want to as well. Absolutely do that, no problem whatsoever. So any of these ones you can be doing. You know, if you're going for it today's price, $19.98 or $31.90. Even although it's cardstock, you still get your Club Inspired discount on top of that one. Platinum's coming down to £15.98 or $25.52. Across on the website, you're going to find it, of course, there for you guys, Central Europe as well. You've got all these key essentials to stock up on, certainly when it comes to these prices as well. So as Debbie said, not necessarily themed as Christmas, but really going into that season, absolutely perfect for those ones.
I'm back.
You're back.
Hello.
Good. I'll go bring them.
Set up.
Johnny said if we can show the glitter markers
Absolutely.
next.
Lovely.
And then I'll go back to my side.
How am I? Can you hear me? Thank you, Craig.
You're welcome.
See, isn't it good that you can sort of just offhand to somebody? I just went and had a quick cup of tea, actually. I wish. Did I mute myself? Is that what it was? Is that what they're saying? I don't think I did. Right, yeah, these markers markers are exceptional in using them and also in using in value as well. $19.98, and you're getting 12 pieces, so 6 pieces in each one. Our first one we're looking at there is our neon lights. If I just tilt it, you can see the glitter in them is insane. I mean, these are beautiful markers, very different from our sparkle pens. These have got a hard nib on them, so they actually can draw. If you're someone that can colour and draw, you will be able to use them in your drawing, and they just look exceptional. I love this one, the cool elements. I read it really well earlier, and then once I couldn't see it. I think I've just gone to pot, you know, Craig. I think I've just gone to pot. My mic went down. Yeah, that's it. My mic went down, and that was it. So, and these are your actual pens, so you can see you're getting them. They've got a hard bullet nib. That's what I wanted to say on those, and you're getting those too. Pack of 6, all for the value today of $18.99 or $26.99 if you're in the US, and £15.19 if you are a platinum member. We give you all the treats, but we are going to get back to our masterclass, which is on the Masquerade Ball. What you got for us, Craig?
Right, let's go on a little bit of a concept card. We'll do a bit of die cutting with a chandelier. We will go back and we'll use that embossing folder we used a moment ago, but only a section of it, to show how you don't have to use that whole lot. And then we'll combine it with one of the sentiment stamps and one of the feathers. So what I've done is I've taken my 6x6 card blank. So I've got my 6x6 card blank, and then all that I've done is score down at the halfway point of 3 inches and fold backwards. So what I'm going to do to start with is let's do our mats and layers. Now please don't shout at me, I apologise, please forgive me. I did use elements of the papers from the original collection.
But actually, do you know what, Craig? I have to say, lots of people do have the paper pads, so it's really nice to be able to show that as well.
Thank you. Did you hear that, Johnny? Did you hear that? Thank you.
They were very rude, weren't they?
So I'm going into here. I did listen, Johnny, when we went over this prep for it the other week. Did listen, but here we go. So what I've done here is a little bit of black card. This is your shedless glitter card from the Purples, from that luxury cardstock. So that's where I've got that one from. So all that I'm doing, mat and layered that one there. And then what we're going to do is let's do another one here. So just to quickly show you the layer, of course, you know what I'm like, 1/4 inch increments. So my base card, or my base layer here is 6x6. My glitter, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. My black is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then my pattern paper is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. You can, of course, use your matte and layer dies if you want to. You know what I'm like by now. That's how I tend to do my mats and layers. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to redo it on this bit here. As incredible as our shedless glitter card is, dry tape doesn't always like the coating. So I will still use my tape runner or my double-sided tape, but I'll always go in with an extra layer of our tacky glue. Keep bunging up, so let me just go in, I'll sort that later. So just a little layer, you don't need much. Your dry adhesive, if that's what you're using, is going to give you that instant stick, and then the wet glue is giving you that permanent stick by drying into the grains of the glitter card.
So we've got lots of clappy hands, Craig, saying that they're glad to see you working with the papers because they have the papers, which actually it just goes to show, showing both, without the papers and with the papers. What does Johnny know, hey?
What does Johnny know? What does he know? Yeah. Lots in defence. You guys will always defend us. That's why we love you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But equally though, you know, how many bits of pattern paper you got from other collection that's got the tone? You know, if you think, let's go back to the hummingbird. You know, one side's got that real full detailed layering of imagery, but on the background you've got that more subtle colour with a little bit of white work or distressed look, but not as strong in design. Use them if you want to, or just any of your other pattern papers.
Good idea.
So that one can layer into the middle just here, and then we can do the same with this one. And then what I'm going to do here is let's bring in, we're just making sure that I pop it onto the right side, which is going to go there. It's going to be the base done. You could, of course, if you want to, pop a panel there at the side. I'm not going to, but you can if you want. Black card, and let's go in with my die here. So we're going to go in with the chandelier. So that one we can then cut into the black card. So let's use that one. And at the same time, with a piece of white card, what we can do is we can take one of the feathers. So I'm just going to pop this one on, trim round. So we're going to use that one, and then we're going to go in with a piece of white, and we're going to go in with the feathers. So with these feathers, you've got your outline die or your matte and layer die with them as well. I only want the actual feather itself. I don't want the outside die with this one. So what I can do is take this one down, pop that one on, move that to the side, pop these ones onto my plate. We're going to cut these ones out, and then we can do another little bit of embossing.
Beautiful.
Here we go.
Have you got a favourite craft, Craig? Like, I mean, do you enjoy, is die cutting your thing?
Yeah.
Or is it sort of, do you like embossing, stamping, colouring?
I love die cutting. Funny enough, I was going to say it just when we were talking about those frame dies, because I know I've said it quite a lot here. What I love, Debbie, is, of course, matte and layer dies, nesting dies. I like getting nesting dies and block coloured cardstock and creating cards with that. So whether it's the luxury card or 12 by 12, 8 by 8 texture card, just block colour cardstock and making cards, making layouts just with the nesting die. Nesting dies, or the other one that I absolutely love and shout about, is our big background dies, our big full background dies, whether it's the 6 by 6 ones or 5 by 7, something like that, like our creative cards. Love them, love all these sorts of ones. But yeah, I would say die cutting.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think die cutting is definitely my first love. But then I do love all the things that evolve to come into that as well. Yeah. So then when your colouring comes into it, and then like you've done some amazing embossing demos today, and that inspires me to want to get out embossing folders again, which I love, because I do love embossing folders.
I do. You know, and Debbie, Robinson just absolutely adore the embossing folders.
So while you're just finishing that off, Craig, I just want to actually kick in, because we did talk about those boards, I've got boards in my hand. We did talk about those framed dies, so I just want to show you them. So you're just going to have a look for them, and then we'll get straight back to Craig's demo. But the first one, I've got them upside down here, is the border dies. Doesn't say, I was hoping it'd say on the back what they are, but it actually doesn't. But the square one, this is like a ditzy floral in there, and what you can see straight away, instead of having different sections of dies, you've got an entire frame that cuts out that whole frame. So as you can see, these layered up in between, this white that you can see around the edges, if you layer that all up onto white card, you then also get those middle sections cut out for you. It works the same with the ditzy border, one with the oblong. So these white frames cut out as a white frame. So it gives you so much versatility. And then we've obviously got square ones as well, with sort of the deckled edge, which is amazing. So you've got that really beautiful scalloped edge, which is again, you're getting each one of these in the rectangles and the squares. And then we've got is it the stitched edge, square cross stitch edge, yes, which you've got in the square and again in the rectangle. So sorry to just interrupt Craig's demo there, because we're going to head straight back to him. I just wanted to just show you the boards, just in case you wanted to use these alongside your Masquerade Ball.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Craig.
No problem whatsoever, Debbie. Just actually as well, just to say with the cross-stitch frames, they're really good. If you're someone like, we've got Kelly just next door in head office that deals with a lot of hobby maker and that in the UK. She does incredible cross-stitch work. So
I never knew that.
Did you not know that?
No.
Oh my gosh, Kelly does incredible cross-stitching. That's because she's a mum of two, that's her downtime. And so if you do like to do your own cross-stitch and you want to create your own framework, because it is kiss-cross, it's like cross-stitch design all the way around with those three
Amazing.
frames. They're good for people that like to do their cross-stitch, actually. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, I must try and find... I'll share it onto my Instagram stories, but Kelly's got an Instagram page that she pops her cross-stitching on.
Wow.
She's done Marvel superheroes and...
Oh my
for
goodness,
babies.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? You work with these people for
Incredible.
years and you never know those things about
That's
them.
it,
Oh, I'll have
yeah.
to go and have a look at that. So sounds amazing.
So all that I'd done there is I went and cut my chandelier in our black cardstock, and I've cut the feather out as well. So I'm going to set that to the side for a moment. I've then gone in with my nesting dies, and I've gone in with my square, but I can't remember the name of this one. I just hauled it out. I'm sure I wrote it down on one of my cheat sheets, scribbled it down. The Stitch Edge Fancy Square nesting dies I used for this one. And we're going to use the 3D embossing folder again. But as you can see, I'm only going to use a selective area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that underneath to get it where I want it to be. So I want most of the chandelier, and I want it to kind of be even. So I'm getting that into position where I want it. And then when I'm happy, I'm going to close that.
Just for our newbies, Craig, how would we know? Because it's mirror card, how would we know what the top and the bottom is?
Really good question. So what we can do is, let's just move that one out of the way. So what you've got within your embossing folder is basically, it's exactly the same design, but one of them, one side is concaved, it's a deboss. So where you've got the chandelier here, that actually dips inwards. All that detail is inside. Think of it like a mould, so to speak. It's all inwards. This side here, same design, but this is all raised. All this detail is higher up. So the way to think about it is, when you're die cutting, 9 times out of 10, the way that we work this is that the embossed detail is pressed upwards. It's going to be upright within your cardstock. So therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm then going to pop my card onto the raised side. So this is the high side. So what we can do is sit that one on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. So once again, I can just quickly get a rough idea as where I need to put it. And now I'm going to close it. What that will do is this base side here that's raised, that's going to push upwards into your card. It's going to push into your card and it's going to shape, mould into the deboss side of your folder. That's what's going to give you your embossed side. So that's the exact same concept for a 2D folder as it is to a 3D embossing folder. It just means, I don't need that one, it just means with a 3D embossing folder, you'll have additional levels, so to speak. So instead of the emboss just being one level, you might have some that's different. So the chandelier might be one level high, the candle holders might be even higher, the actual flames might be even higher than that. That's giving you the 3D element. So if I then remove this one out of the way.
Wow. I love the idea that it's just onto one small piece of card.
Yeah.
And that mirror, that shows, that's our luxury mirror card, isn't it?
It is.
It's beautiful.
No cracking. Nothing.
Yeah, shows the quality, doesn't it, when
It
it's
really
not
does.
cracking.
I have to say, out of all of the luxury cardstocks within each set, because you get the satin cardstock, the satin's my favourite.
Yes, mine too.
Absolutely love satin card.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it looks amazing. Rosalind has just said that she also loves her embossing folders and they're the one thing she couldn't part with. She's got close to 300 that she's collected over the
Wow.
years. 300, that's amazing.
How awesome is that? 300 embossing folders.
They
That's
are
lots.
amazing to use.
Oh, they are, aren't they? And I firmly believe, you know, I do believe, I'm not being biased or that, but I just feel that Leanne and the product development team here at Crafters Companion keep pushing the boundaries when it
Yes.
comes to our embossing folders.
I totally agree. Yeah, I always, and actually, and you will find the same as well, Craig. It's like with the new nesting frames. They're one of those things you think, how has someone not come up with that before?
Exactly, yeah.
We've always used nesting dies to make a frame, and now to have a frame that cuts out like that is amazing. We
Yeah.
do have the best, in my opinion, I know Craig's as well, we have the best team out there, I think, to create for us. We're so lucky.
And do you know what I believe with all of us on the team here? There is, and this isn't meant as any disrespect to other craft experts out there, because so many have worked in the craft industry for years.
Absolutely.
You know, you do get some that just fall into it. They've never done craft before and they
Yep.
fall into it. Every single one of us here on the team at Crafters Companion have crafted for years. So we've used other companies' products, we've been on design teams for other companies. So it's not that I'm saying that we know what we're talking about, but we can say we've tried all these other companies.
I'd never looked at that. You're right, every one of us have done that. yeah.
Absolutely. Other companies' products are great out there, but then when you look at what we're bringing, what we're producing from what we've seen before coming to Crafters Companion, you know, we can, hopefully you put your trust in us anyway, which we know that you do, but you know that, gosh, yeah, you know, they have worked with a lot of crafting products out there.
Absolutely. I do think we're top of our game at the moment. Absolutely. With what's coming out and what's we can see that's coming out as well, you're going to just fall in love with.
You are. You really, really are. I just can't wait. Right, so let's go back to our feather here. And now what I'm going to do, tell you what, let's do our sentiment stamp first, because we can do this next bit together. What I'm going to do, Debbie, is I'm going to go in with my stamp here. So I'm going to go in with, so this one, it is the one that says, "Welcome to the Masquerade Ball."
I love that.
Nice little sentiment, isn't it?
And just a great font on these stamps as well.
Yeah. And what's lovely is these will give you the sentiment on your card, but it's not necessarily saying anything specific. It's not saying happy birthday, it's not saying with love or I miss you or good luck. It's just a generalised card
Yep.
that you can give to the recipient.
Absolutely, because actually, even having Masquerade Ball in there, all that's referring to is a celebration.
Yes,
So it doesn't
yeah.
matter whether it's a party, it's a wedding, it's just a garden party. A Masquerade Ball just means it's a celebration.
It does, it really does. It's a good way of thinking of it as well.
So a question from Anne, Craig, can you stamp on mirror card?
So, this is, if we generalise it with our products here at Crafters Companion, what I would say, yes with your pigment ink pads, but you would need to heat set it with your embossing powders. I believe there may be products out there in the market that may allow you to.
Yeah, there is a stays on ink, isn't there? Yeah.
That's the word I was trying to think of, stays on. I knew there was something about stays.
I think we need to put that to the team. I think Crafters Companion leaders stays on ink.
I think it's a good idea. It really is.
We do a quick drying ink, but even that doesn't dry onto mirror card. You do need specific inks. But you're right, Craig, heat embossing would work perfectly on mirror card, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. What I would say, if you are doing that, whether it's mirror card or acetate, anything like that, please still be careful. It's very slidey.
Yes.
It can be very, very slidey. So, you know, whereas we'll go and press, and you'll see us tend to do that, what I would suggest is try, press, get the pressure on that you can, release it, and then move it. Otherwise, you will get that street look. But the answer to your question is, yes, you can do, but heat set it with a embossing powder and use one of your pigment ink pads.
Fabulous. Sarah Brown saying she's loving the colours you've used. What a gorgeous make you're doing. Mary Beth is saying that she loves CC 3D embossing folders. She said she seldom ever goes through my old 2D folders from my stash. Yeah, and actually, I think you're making a really good point there, Mary Beth, because we do, I mean, you cannot be a 3D embossing folder, but actually, equally, we also don't want to take away from 2D embossing
No, not at
folders
all.
because they create beautiful backgrounds. It's just if you want that more impressive embossing where you've got those 3 different levels and layers and sculptures of embossing, that's when we then tend to go for those 3D embossing folders.
That's it, exactly. They all do their own impressive work, so to speak.
These colours are looking lovely.
I'm just going to go in. I wanted to do a bit of layering with colours. So with the feather, so this is fuchsia, this is crushed velvet, and I'm going in with a little bit of, well, jet black or noir black.
Ooh, nice.
Tinting the edges here.
Look at that, that looks amazing.
So what's kind of given us a look of is our blended look, Debbie. We've got that light tone going into the mid-tone, finishing off with the dark tone. It's going to work well with the layers that we've done. I've done the same with Welcome to the Masquerade Ball, coated it with fuchsia, gone around the edges with crushed velvet, and then just tipping the edges with the
very effective, isn't it? And actually what you're showing, Craig, which is great for a masterclass, is don't be afraid of those dark colours, especially black, because people tend to stay away from blacks because they almost look smudgy. But that actually shows it by bringing that in with that purple. Looks beautiful.
It does, and I know obviously as we briefly talked about, you and I are the same way. We're like, don't be scared to use the black, the dark colours that you're just saying there. It can be so effective. What I will do is let's bring another one that I have done, and I've not gone as strong. So I purposely went in darker so you could coat the cardstock. You would not think that was white cardstock to start with. You would think that's a printed element out of one of your paper pads. But what you can equally do is keep it subtler, keeping that white look and keeping more of that darker look, whichever way is more effective to yourself. So I'm going to use that one because I've already matte and layered it. We're going to come in with these ones here. So our embossed layer, what we can do is go in with our tape, and I'm going to pop that flush and flat into the centre of the back layer. This one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a layer of my foam pads. So I just need to make sure that I don't cross over into the back where I don't want foam pads. So you can do a pencil line, a little mark, something visually for you to know that you're not going to cross over to an area where you don't want the foam pads to be seen. And if you see them, what's going to happen then, they're going to stick to your back layer. But that is more than enough for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich it so it's pretty much direct over the top of my back layer that we can see here. And now just a couple of bits to add on. Let's add on our sentiment. And again, this one I'm going to pop on with foam pads. That one can go down into here. I've already added a couple of gems, as you can see. This one, I'm going to keep the feather as it is. However, you've got your cut element or your cut parts in there. So if you want to ruffle them up, actually, let's kind of do it, Debbie.
It's such a real looking feather, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
There's a lot of love coming in for that, Craig. Everyone's saying that's an awesome tip with it tipped in black. Craig, the feather is stupendous. Yeah, lots of love for that. So really effective, that use on black on the tips. Awesome card this is, Craig.
Thank you. It's really kind of you. But yeah, it's going in. And I'm not really using anything that extra from my stash. You know, if you are a crafter companion nut, like most of you are, where you've got most of our stuff.
Yeah, nutters
like us, you're going to be using what you've already got. Water reactive inks, your adhesives, all these key elements you're going to be using. Where's my little pin? There we go. Let's just declog that. So all that I need to do now is I've got my black gems to here. So what I'm going to do is pop one there, I'm going to pop one there. So let's put that one there, I'm going to pop that one there. And then last but by no means least, I've already tied a black bow. And kind of going on what you said a moment ago, although there's a lot of black on this one, it doesn't look scary whatsoever for a card.
Yeah, so Liam literally took my words there and he just said how elegant it looks. I think it looks so professional. These are the sort of cards that you'd think were in like little boutique places or your hairdressers and that you'd really want. That is beautiful. And such a generic card, like, you know, whether it's for an engagement, a birthday, a Mother's Day, it's just beautiful. Oh, I think that's a definite contender for the winner, Craig.
So?
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. We've got a good question actually from Stephanie. She has asked, because we've been talking about embossing folders in collections, she's actually asked a really good question, which is, do you store the collections or Sarah's signature collections or Nature's Garden collections together or separately? So into embossing folders, dies, stamps, etc. like that. I'll let you answer first, Craig. How do you store yours?
So first of all, I would say it's a personal preference. I store all my collections together. I would believe it or not, if I stored all my folders together, all my stamp and dies together, all my dies together, all my 12 by 12s together, I would just blow my mind trying to find what I'm looking for. So for me personally, so many of you know that I've got the IKEA Kallax units in my craft room with the cubes. I store my collections together, so each individual collection are together. The way that I do it is I have my 12 by 12 pad at the back, then I have my texture cardstock, whatever cardstock comes with it, then the die. So I use that, sort of like that 12 by 12 as a divider for the next sections.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
So that's kind of the way that I do it. So I do them collections all together.
Oh, that's a really good idea. So I don't have the room to do that. So all my collections get stored in boxes. But the paper pads won't go in the boxes. So I do have shelves where I put all my paper pads, and I write on the edges of what the collection is. So all my paper pads will get stored together, but all my collections get stored together, just because I don't have the room.
Yeah.
But I love that room. If you've got the cubby holes for them to put your sections and use your 12 by 12 pads to go in between, I think that's a brilliant idea. But as we always say, you do you and what suits. I do actually love the idea, because I have to say, after looking at your embossing demos, they're the things I probably get out the least. And actually, I think having a box just full of embossing folders would be quite nice, and add those. They'd probably get used more if I did that. But let us know what you do, how you store your collections. We're just going to go back to the boards now, just to show you exactly what you're getting for your money. Remember, this is $31.30 today, or $42.10 if you are in the US, $25.04 if you are a platinum member. So the Masquerade Ball has it's a 9-piece collection with 34 elements, starting with the celebrate. The Celebrate die. Then we've got the gorgeous, I was going to say Masquerade, it's not, it's the, see when I do stuff, my head just then goes all over the place. It's the chandelier, of course it is. And then you've got the gorgeous mask, which is absolutely beautiful. I think this was my favourite die of the year last year. I think, and so what I was saying about paper pads, the Masquerade Ball paper pad was one of really high up in my favourite paper pads, because it is beautiful. The feathers we're getting there, so the flamboyant feathers, you're going to be able to use them in so many different crafting elements. Then we've got the gorgeous Masquerade sentiments, so all those different sentiments, you've seen Craig use them, and also use them as backgrounds. So I love this sort of Harlequin sense, the stamp that onto your pattern papers and just add those extra detail. We've then got ready for the ball, so where you can put your sentiments, you've got that gorgeous mask stamp. This one is just truly beautiful. I think it's just a gorgeous stamp to use for so many different occasions. And then we've got those gorgeous embossing folders that we've talked lots about throughout the show. This one is an A6 in size, but is a 3D embossing folder. And then you've got your 5x7 chandelier embossing folder as well, which just looks incredible. What I love about embossing folders is their use is so so varied. So whether you create them just using cardstock and your inks, whether you colour them in and use them with your alcohol pens or your watercolours, or maybe you want to actually use them with your mirror card and sand them back and give them that distressed look. There's so many different ways. Just go online. We have our education is just amazing, and it's what we love about Crafters Companion. The great thing is that you can use, and if you only just joined us, Craig showed an amazing demo using our pigment ink pads and then heat embossing them with the embossing folder using a letterpress technique. It's one of my absolute favourites, and it works really well every single time. The other good thing about that is that you get a different look every single time as well if you're mixing the colours. Now the colours we've got in here, if you want to just dip your toes into some of our pigment opaque ink pads, we've got an amazing selection of colours for you, starting with the plum jam, which is the gorgeous darker colour of our pinks. Then we've got our fuchsia as well, which is going to work really well with that plum jam, looking absolutely amazing. We've also got our parakeets, one of our favourite colours that I know all of us use here on Crafters TV. It's one of the ones that I don't think we could do without in our stash. We then have our damson wine, which is a gorgeous, really deep, dark purple. Then we've got our orange, and then our last one in that collection is our lemon tonic. Again, really nice colours. All these colours you're going to use throughout your crafting. If you want to sort of just try the pigment ink pads today, they're $27.99 or $41.99. So let's have a look, see if we've got any more comments and see what you're all up to. So I'm feeling fledged. I am a full-fledged card-carrying nutter. That was a mouthful, that was, Mary. So Mary Reno, that was. And then Deborah is saying that she stores her collections together with the paper pads behind, and she stores them in the Totally Tiffany Scrapmaster. Actually, that's a brilliant idea, isn't it? I haven't got one myself, but I think that's a really cool way, just because you can fit your 12 by 12 papers in there, which is amazing. Yeah, and everyone's saying what a gorgeous card, Craig. So absolutely incredible. Bubble and Squeak on YouTube is saying that all the components in this card are gorgeous. The card is outstandingly stunning, Craig. You're so creative.
Oh,
I have to agree. He's just pulled it out the bag today, and I'm sure he's going to continue to do so.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Right, let's go for a domed card here. We're going to use that Masquerade mask, and go figure, we're going to use a little bit of inking again. So what we're going to do to start with, so I've already done this bit, so we can go straight into the more creative parts. Matte black cardstock, and I've cut it to 6 1/4 by 7 inches. So 6 1/4 by 7 inches, and I have scored at 1/2 inch and scored at 1/2 inch. Fold them back, and then what I've done is I've popped a piece of pattern paper in the middle. I've touched it with my adhesive, then I've ran my circle nesting die. So the one that I used was 4 inches in width. So we've used within that one there, so that's creating your circle aperture. What I've also done, using our crushed velvet and also using our midnight, I've gone in with a piece of multi-purpose cardstock, just blended a little bit of colour. It's exactly the same form as what I'd done earlier on, but just blended them together to get more of a cloudy effect. So that bit I've already done, so I can sit them out of the way. Let's go in with our black cardstock, and let's go in with our elegant mask here. So with this elegant mask, what you've got is you've got 2 dies. So you've got your mask and you've got the outline. So you've got that matting layer for it. So if let's just take these bits out. I'm going to cut this detail within our white multi-purpose, and then the back layer I'm going to cut into our black cardstock. But with the white layer, we're going to add some ink. And I'm going to keep it just with the ink. But then what we're going to do is we're going to die cut some of the feathers. We're going to ink them, and then we're going to add a little bit of our clear sparkle overlay. So that's going to give it a little bit of additional sparkle. So there we go. Let's take these bits out. So my back layer, what we can do is put onto our black cardstock. So I'm going to cut that one just now. And then we can take our mask and we can cut this one within our white. So let's just trim these ones down. We're running this one through. If you don't want to do any inking, then with this mask, what you could do is you could 100% cut it straight into your luxury cardstock, and that's going to give you that real, well, luxury mask. Whether it's the mirror, whether it's the satin, or even the glitter. So I'm just going to tape them, hold them ones in, run them through. I know it goes without saying, but of course, you know, you can be using your large Gemini for all of these ones here, but because they all fit in the junior, I'm using the junior. So let's run this one through. Anything that you see me using junior size will go through the midi, so you'll be able to use them no problem at all. Smaller dies within this collection, such as the feathers, they will go through the mini, just not these larger dies. These all have to be the midi, the junior, or higher up when it comes to your die cutting machines. So let's take these ones all the way. So what I'm going to do, this one, because I had this one sitting that way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that one through again. I'm going to put it at a bit of an angle. It's cut my outline absolutely perfectly, but what I just need to do is give it a little helping hand to go through. That was going to do it this time, no problem at all. And then we're going to stick with the colours I've done for the background. We're going to use Crushed Velvet and Midnight. So let's take these ones out now. There we go. So taking these bits, let's pop this one out. So you've got release holes in all of these. So let's take that one, feed that one out. You can, if you want, ink your card before you die cut. I prefer to ink afterwards, only because I can see exactly where I'm adding my ink. Does mean I need to be a little bit more careful not to tear away at any of these die cut elements, but I do. It's just one of my preferences. But I mean, look at that, Debbie. Isn't that just fab?
It's beautiful,
Detail
isn't
in
it?
that
Yeah,
mask.
it is the detail, isn't it? It's perfect.
It really is. Do you know what I just had this train of thought at the moment. So with these ones, if you want, it might look a bit weird, it might not. Imagine if you use these as just your shaker apertures. You know, put your little foam round
yes.
there, and then just the eyes themselves were
That would be
shakers with little bits of
amazing.
sequins or glitter
I
or something
love
like
that.
that.
Or little beads,
Yeah.
like gems.
Yes,
I love that idea.
Yeah, you could maybe try that at home.
And you've actually got enough room to put your foam around that area
do.
as well, haven't you?
You do, yeah. You've got enough. So, yeah, if you're going to try that, let us know. Be good to see.
Absolutely.
Might need-
I love a
might try
shaker
this out.
card. I never bore of it.
Never bored of it?
Nope.
No.
No, I love them.
They are fun.
Yeah, I could just make loads. I just make them all the time. I love them.
It's one of those that all you need is a simple, you know, a relatively simple edge die, and you can make real fun shaker cards.
Totally. Look, Craig, so is that, my pet hate is that die got bits in it. I know, because I keep having to out everybody because they've got to stop doing it. It's Debbie Robinson openly admits she leaves her bits in the dies.
Does she?
Yep.
Let's blame Debbie then.
So I always blame Debbie, yeah. But actually, I'm going to blame the boss as well because I know Sarah doesn't.
Oh,
either.
she's bad for it.
Yeah, I know. She's terrible, but I suppose she's the boss. She's allowed.
She's allowed, isn't she? Suppose she's got more things to do than poke her bits out her die, isn't she?
Absolutely. She's a busy lady, our Sarah.
Busy.
Have you heard about her new tour?
I know.
It's exciting, isn't it? I wish it was near me. I keep trying to work out a way that I could go and see
Can you
it.
not come up here when they're in
Yeah, I
Newcastle?
do think maybe I would. So how far is Newcastle from here?
What, about 40 minutes?
I wonder if I could. Yeah, maybe I need to look at the dates and see if I can coincide it.
Yeah.
Because I'd quite like to go and see it. I think it would be amazing.
Interesting. I know Debbie had messaged me yesterday saying, you know, she wants to go as well.
Yeah.
She's intrigued to see what it's going to be like.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. And I think it's a bit of everything with Sarah, sort of her journey, with Strictly, with Dragon's Den, with Crafter's Companion. So yeah, I'd love to see it.
Snap. What was I about to say?
And it's Christmas, Craig.
And it's Christmas, isn't it?
Christmas, absolutely.
Christmas time. I have to say though, much as I love Sarah to bits, she needs Ben to keep her in track. She needs Ben.
I think Ben was forced on her.
I think so, yeah.
Like, Sarah, you are not going rogue this time.
Yeah. Right, timing's right. Nope, you need someone. You need someone to keep you in time.
Although, judging by their exploits the last
Exactly,
week,
yeah.
I don't know whether we can trust them together, Craig.
I don't know either. Gosh knows what they're going to be doing with that mic pack. But yeah, no, it'll be good. Good on her.
Absolutely.
Let's pop these bits out.
I can't get over the realism of these feathers. They look amazing.
But if you...
They're such a good die to have. Even if you just want to get some extra feathers, then, you know, you can get all these pieces individually.
Yes.
Obviously, the best way to get them is in the full collection, which you can get today, which is 34 elements, which is a 9-piece set, £31.30 today, or £42.10, or dollars, should I say, which is incredible value. And even if you just want to add this to other collections that you've got, it's all going to work really well.
Isn't it just? I tend to say as well, if you've got little swirls or something, they're good for tuck-ins, for behind your flower-forming flowers or your card flowers, paper flowers.
I love that idea, of course.
Anything like that. But sometimes if you don't want the swirls, what about your peacock feathers instead? Nice as little tuck-ins.
I think that's a lovely tuck. They're such lovely feathers. I love them.
They really, really are. So I could say, as much as the swirls work well, sometimes you want something a bit different than a swirl.
Absolutely.
So what do you use when you're not using a swirl? You use...
It does sound a little bit like a squirrel.
Squirrel. I think that's why Johnny giggles when I say it.
We've got your new one tomorrow, which I always love. What do you call the collection that's on tomorrow? Can you remember what collection we're doing? But Craig doesn't say that. Gnomes.
Gnomes.
So we have the gnome collection, but Craig says gnomes. Well, he probably doesn't now, he's probably got used to it. But when we bought the gnomes collection out, or last year we bought the Christmas one out, Craig kept referring to them as the gnomes.
Yeah, that's right. But it's how it looks. My repertoire of words that I just get to say on
Your
here.
Your repertoire of words. I love that, Craig.
Yes.
Yes, we do need a repertoire of Craig's words.
Exactly, just all these different ones. But yeah, it's like gnomes.
Gnomes.
It was the same as last week when I'd gone out for a meal. And I was like, I don't know what we're going to have. I was looking at the menu and I was like, fajitas. And they were like, what? I was like, fajitas. Like, fajitas. I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm saying it as it's spelled phonetically. You know, it looks as though it's fajitas. And she was like, no. No. I was like, oh, okay.
I love that. You almost think you've said it wrong all these years.
Yeah.
And then you see it wrote down, yeah.
But,
I love fajitas.
Oh, I love. Oh,
so nice.
So nice. With the.
Oh, Liam's definitely missing out.
You've not done letterpressing. You've never had fajitas. Have you ever played with our gnome collection? Have you? Last week.
Liam's been playing with a new collection that's coming up, which I hear he has been. In fact, I'm going to grab it so you can see it because it is absolutely magnificent. Don't really want to take away from Craig, but I think we need to carry on. I mean, look at this treasure box. It's incredible. And these papers and all the die cuts are coming in a new collection for the vintage snowman. It is stunning. It launches Monday with Jan. All these different die cuts that you can see and stamps around the edges. This is just amazing. We was asked earlier where the instructions were for it, and Liam has kindly given us the instructions for his box. He literally worked this all out himself, so it will go onto our website next week and you'll be able to find all the full instructions. It's just cardboard, I think, is it, Liam? Oh, it is mount board. It's amazing. I mean, that's truly amazing. So we have the best team, even in the background. So Liam is on directing today for us, and I said to him, I think the design team are going to nab him soon for all his ideas that he comes up with.
I'm not saying one of the items that we've got coming up, so probably we'll get into trouble. All I'm going to say is Liam's been doing a few bits ahead of time with things that are launching in the not too distant future to do with Christmas. You think that's amazing. You should see what you're going to be seeing from him. Absolutely. To think. And Liam, you were always, before you joined it, you were always creative with the theatre side and that, but you were never really paper and card creative, artsy, were you? So to watch you, you know, as a colleague, but as a friend as well, joining us and then seeing how creative you get, it's phenomenal. So absolutely check that one out. But what I'm going to say, keep an eye on things. And can I say, Liam, are most of them going to be for the blog as well? Right, okay, but you will be seeing it, because if it's not going to be on the blog, trust me, when Liam shares it, I know that we're going to be sharing it on our pages because he's done phenomenal things. So keep an eye out for that.
And I wasn't meaning Liam being on the design team on our Facebook doing the samples. I was meaning actually in our design team that creates from the beginning the samples that we're going to get. That's who I think might nab you, Liam. You never know.
Could very well be.
We definitely work in a world of creative people, that's for sure. So I feel really lucky being around so many. Liam said we inspire him, but actually we all inspire each other, so it's a great teamwork. We are a team down here, and it's amazing.
I would love to be a fly on the wall that day when Jenny, our boss here on Crafters TV, and Leanne are in a room saying, no, we're taking Liam. Leanne's like, I'm taking Liam now. And Jenny's like, no, you're not. We're keeping him our side. And Leanne's like, no, I'm having him now. I'm having him. I'd love to be a fly on the wall that day. But yeah, all
that would be a tug of war.
That would be. We're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. Just.
My money's on Leanne. Although Jenny's probably watching, so actually my money's on Jenny.
My money's always on Jenny. All that I was doing there, just while we were going over Liam's blog post, is I've gone in with our Masquerade mask, and I have inked them up with the Midnight and the Crushed Velvet. My little applicator is playing up today. It's all bunged up. I'm going to have to clean it out. So all that I'm just doing is I'm just dabbing that on the back with my Coll glue. Most people, your Coll glue will be absolutely fine on your skin. If you've never done it before and you want to do something like this, dabbing the excess, just do a little skin test just to make sure. But most of you will be absolutely fine with. And now I'm going to pop that in. Of course, we've got our dotty tape runner. We've got our sprays that you can use as well. It's entirely up to yourself. But all that I'm doing is popping that onto the black. And how strong, even mystical, that looks when it comes to that one there. And then same with the feathers. All that I'd done was half crushed velvet, half midnight, and blended the two in together. All that I'm going to do now with this one is I'm going to go in, and I've got my clear sparkle overlay, and I'm just quickly giving it a wipe over. Don't want to do too much because it's what reactive ink that I've used. So I'm not wanting the brush to pull a lot of that ink off. All that I'm wanting to do is make sure it's got a nice coating of sparkle.
That is so me. I love putting sparkle on things.
It's so quick but effective.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And as you can see, that was literally a very quick
Absolutely.
scribble over the top, and that was that. So let's come back to these ones here and let's assemble our card. So I'm going to use my red liner tape for this one here. So let's go in, if I can find the end here. So that one can go on the back. And although I've used the circle nesting die, Debbie, you could easily use, gosh, if you want to use a hexagon one, you could do an oval one if you want to. I found that because of the shape of the mask, for me, I just found that the circle worked quite well.
Absolutely, yeah.
But taking these ones off here, so if I then wrap that one around, so the colour is going to be shown, I'm going to tuck that one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that in, because the measurements that I gave you for the black card is wider than this one, which, just to say, I don't think I gave you the measurements of my ink layer, because that is important. 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and that's important because it's smaller than your black layer. So what that means is we're going to get a dome. So press that in, so we're getting our dome that we can see here. So what we can then do, it is actually like that, Liam, isn't it? A bit of a moon effect with the inks that we've used. And then once again, because we've got that domed effect, I'm going to give it extra stability by using my red liner tape. So I'm going to go around all these bits just into here. So I'm working my way around with the red liner. So we're going to pop this one onto, it's a very Dundonian word there, onto my card blank. I'm going to pop it onto a card blank. So let's take these ones off. So I've got my card blank to the side of me. Let's take that. And can you imagine as well, okay, I've used crushed velvet and midnight, but if you were to use, Debbie, I don't know, fuchsia and lemon tonic, or pale fig and, oh, I don't know, orange, or something like that, you're going to have a card that the concept's the same, but it's going to look completely different because you've changed the colours. So you can absolutely do that.
That's what's quite magical, isn't it, about ink pads? You can just make it look totally different just by changing your ink pad colours.
Exactly, totally different. So we've now got our dome. So what I'm going to do within this one here, I'm going to pop my mask. I'm going to use my glue gel for this one because I've got some of this sort of like wine satin ribbon that I've got here. So I'm going to put a nice little dollop into there. Let's get rid of that hard bit. So I'm going to pop them in to here. I'm just flattening out my glue gel ever so slightly because I'm going to pop that one there. I'm then going to pop that one here. And now we can go in with another bit. And I'm only putting a wee circle into there because obviously I've got that
I love
curve.
that idea with a ribbon. That looks really effective.
So we've got the ribbon flowing out. We can then go in with, let's go in with our little feather. So I'm going to put a little bit down into here. I'm going to start to tuck that one under. I'm then going to come in with this one here. I'm going to pop that one into there. And then the one step that I have forgotten, because you're probably all thinking, well, Craig, what's going in the circle? Die cut one of the chandeliers. I'm going to use my dotted tape runner for this one. So if I pop all these bits on, so if I go in, now this chandelier I would add before I've done the dome, but I forgot about it. So let's go in, and then I'm going to place it, and now I'm going to pull that down slightly because I've not pressed it too hard, so my tape's not adhered yet. I'm going to press that in, And then we can go in with our ribbon, add our bow onto the top. And now I've got a load of gems here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put the gems on. I'll show you my finished one in a moment, see what it looked like with the gems, but that'll take a few moments. I'll leave it like that. When it comes to your card, let me just press the mask on. So we've got our mask, we've got the ribbon just flowing out of the side there, we've got the feathers as well, and then if you were to put lots of little gems on, see how that's going to look with all the little gems.
Absolutely, love that. What a beautiful card.
Just another nice way, another nice concept, but you've got that dome there. For anyone wondering, well, how would you post it? If you were to post it, definitely a box. Anything like that, 100% a box. But then you can theme the box the same colourway as you have done the card as well.
You are absolutely knocking it out of the park, as the boss would say. They look incredible. I think we're going to get set up for a demo of the show. Another tough one. You've really knocked them out today, Craig. They look incredible. I know what my favourite one is, but what is yours? So get voting. Oh, we're not voting yet. We're going to show you them in a minute. But first of all, I just want to quickly recap on the luxury cardstock because you are absolutely loving it. So you've got the red, the greens and the golds in this collection. It's a 90-piece collection. You're getting 10 sheets of each one. So 10 sheets of the glitter, 10 sheets of the shiny mirror and 10 sheets of the matte mirror card. And you're getting that in that beautiful gold. You're also getting that in the gorgeous green, which is going to go through all year round, which is amazing. And that really beautiful red. It's a gorgeous red, this one, a really sort of deep red, and it looks amazing. So yes, for Christmas, but also think of all year round crafts that you're going to be able to use this with, and just showing you all what you are getting. Remember, 10 sheets of each of those, which is absolutely incredible. It works out about 18 pence a sheet, which is crazy value, and you're absolutely buying that in the droves today. So get hold of that. So that's the one if you want your warm colours for Christmas. If you want your cooler colours, we've got the more contemporary colours. These ones are probably the ones I would go for, although I've got them all. I have to have them all because they're so gorgeous. But you've got the ice blue there, you've also got the beautiful silver, and you've got that really gorgeous sort of purpley pink colour, which is incredible. Use them to die cut, use them as your mats and layers, embossing. They're all going to look really beautiful. If you love your contemporary cardstock, you are going to absolutely love the finish on these. Those of you that have already had these in the past are just going to come back to restock up at this price because they are incredible value and incredible cardstock. 300 GSM with a coated 10 GSM on top of that as well. So absolutely incredible. So let's have a vote, shall we? So what you got over there then, Craig?
Rightio. Now, of course, this whole show has been all about the Masquerade Ball. So, number 1, simple card with ink in and our embossing folder. Number 2, additional embossing folder, letterpress technique. Number 3, a fold back card, selective dies, embossing folder and the sentiment stamp. And then number 4 here, where we've done our domed card with the Masquerade mask, the feathers and the chandelier with some ink in as well. So 1, 2, 3 or 4.
Lovely. So get voting. I can't believe where the time has gone, Craig.
Oh, no.
I don't think I've ever known a masterclass to go so quickly. So, and that's all thanks to Craig with his amazing demos and what we've learned from that, which is absolutely amazing. So let's just have a quick look at the nesting frame dies. Get that right. They launched last Thursday with myself. We had a massive show, which was just amazing. You absolutely love them. So we've got some more to bring back to you in different variations. So each set comes with the square nesting dies, me throwing it. You've got your stitch, cross-stitch edge nesting dies in the square and your cross-stitch edge in the rectangles. You've also got your scalloped edge in the square. I love these ones. You're going to use them in all sorts of ways in your crafting, box making, and you're getting them in your rectangles as well. And then the last one we've got, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that we've put these ditzy florals inside the frames. They just look amazing. And remember, when you layer them all up and cut them all out at once, you get this added, where the white is around the edges, they are your extra mats and layers. So you get extra frames in there, which is incredible. And you're getting that in your rectangles as well with that ditzy corner. They're still at the amazing price. We've kept our price low for those at £71.95 if you're in the UK and £83.75 if you are in the US. An amazing value, £57 and a few pennies if you are in the if you are a platinum member in the club. I'm just going to have a quick look at what we've got, who's been talking on social media. Sarah Brown is saying, Craig, thanks for sharing your ideas with us. You're a very inspirational crafter. We've got lots of love for Liam and his box, and lots of people are saying they're not sure who Liam is. Is it the same Liam that is in the studio? Yes, it is. But someone's saying they haven't seen him. Would he be able to say hello? He can't at the moment, but we'll have to get Liam in he'll have to run through and run back, but he's directing for us. But at one stage, yes, Liam will be about tomorrow. We can grab him and maybe put him on wake up call and have a quick chat. A So Pretty card, that's beautiful. We're still waiting to see what's number. Oh, we have a winner. We do have a winner. Demo of the show is number 4.
Number 4.
So that last one, it had to be between 3 and 4, I think, because they are absolutely stunning. But we do have one more show coming up throughout the day. We're going to be having a Creative Cravings, and we've got lots to show on that, haven't we, Craig?
We do indeed, yeah, we really, really do. We're going to be having a look at our swing dies again. We'll feature them within Wake Up Call. We're going to have a look at them as well. You may want to get your hands on the selection of the Autumn Blessings collection that we've got on, which is going to work so well with your sunflower collection. Do you know, someone, we've got a nice selection of bits coming up on Creative Cravings. It's going to be a really nice show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just going to show a quick few samples before we leave you of those nesting frame dies, because there are so many beautiful things that you can make with them. Look at this sample. I mean, it's so amazing. Those squares used in the middle for your stopper, use each side for that double easel, using them as they come and layering them on top of each other, using them at different angles. They're just so amazing. So absolutely love this collection of dies. So if you want something just that little bit different instead of your regular nesting dies, these are definitely the ones for you. Now, don't forget, I do want to tell you, because we have and keep adding extras onto our summer sun sale, summer sea sun sale. There we go, got it eventually. It's amazing, and honestly, go and have a look, because you don't want to miss out on a bargain. There is some really good things in there, including that verse compendium, which is out of this world. There's those large creator card dies, which are amazing. So honestly, and the creator card dies, which are sort of edgeables and creator cards. So definitely go and have a look out on them. But come back and join us later, because we really do have the most jam-packed show for Creative Cravings. I like Creative Cravings, Craig, because it's one of those shows that really takes it back to basics. It shows everybody how easy crafting can be and how much fun it is, and that's what it's all about. We want to have fun when we're creating. We want to be able to do the best job that we can, and it's going to be just a great show to come and watch. So please come and watch us later, and we will see you at 6 p.m. Bye.
Toodles.